Alright, looks like it's working now. See, everything is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, nice. Yeah, now it's working. Awesome. I think that now all works good. Okay, cool. So what I was saying is looks like yeah, displacement works a little bit different in Blender. I still didn't master this software. Is a lot to learn. But something that I really like is that it's super intuitive. I mean, it's the kind of software that you learn one time and everything's going to keep in your brain, right? It's not like Clarice that I need to learn it each time that I touch it again. So yeah. Okay, so let's start with some kind of story of what's going on with these guys. So I started these guys doing some concept art, was just for playing around. And you know, when you're working in the studio, in a VFX studio, is I spend a lot of my time doing concepts and creatures for production and all that kind of things, blend shapes, shot sculpt, body blend shapes, trying to figure out ways to make things work better for the creatures and all that kind of stuff. Talking a lot with Misha, that he's watching. So with Misha we spend like, I don't know, 4 hours a day talking, more or less. So all the plan, at least 5 hours, right? we are having talks every day by in Zoom all the time. And so yeah, in this project what I wanted was to learn new stuff and learn new softwares and new techniques, and Blender was one of the things that I wanted to learn. So yeah, that's how it started, and I end up having the creatures rigged. I rigged myself in, actually I use AutoRig Pro in Blender. I mean, it's super good. AutoRig Pro is I mean, I was able to rig creatures super fast, and you know, for someone who is not a rigger, it's kind of a very good tool, right? Also have some stuff like, you know, you can transfer targets and that kind of things, and you know, that stuff is pretty good. You could bring animations from internet, I mean motion capture, and put into your characters. It's not much more, it's not a lot for quadrupeds, I couldn't find a lot, but it's pretty good for humans. Another thing that is I found very cool in Blender is grass world. Is for make grass and helps a lot with environments and that kind of things. So I'm going to show the environment at some point. So the environment for this, actually, let's do that something because it's super heavy. So I think that I have some images in Photoshop of it. I don't know if totally sold. I think that for production, you know, I mean, it's in development. For production, it's still lots of things that we need. Mainly, I mean, for me, for making concept art is great. I think that but for making creatures for production, still need some stuff. I couldn't find a way to transfer point order. I couldn't find a way to transfer point position. I don't know. Still, that little things that that you kind of need a lot. The add-ons are amazing. I mean, the add-ons that Blender has are amazing. I think that it's not another software that have so many clever people working behind. You know, it's so many add-ons that are so clever. I mean, box cutter, and it's one that I tried the other day that is it give you an environment feeling to everything. I don't know if you use it, Andrew. Flashlight or something like that it's called. It give you the fog, it give you everything. It's, I mean, for concept art it's amazing. But I couldn't find I don't remember how it's called. Let me see if I can find it in Blender. See if I have it here. Atmosphere something. I think that the name is longer, but it's called Atmosphere. And I mean, works great, works very, very good. So yeah, and for working these guys, I pretty much do everything by hand. I don't use a lot of alphas. I mean, I do my own alphas. You're doing an environment too? That's great. I'm doing the one that I did is I have this guy. I mean, it's let me see if I can open it without everything crashing, because the scenes are pretty big. How much am I using? 27 gigabytes. See if I can open it. Or maybe if I stop rendering this. It will work. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Let's see if it opens. Alright, it opens. So I built this one. That I did the terrain in Gaia. It's super cool for my terrain. It's amazing. And I mean, it's all node based, and you have erosions, you have snow, you can get blend textures in there. It's very, very good. And also I saw that it's a couple of add-ons for Blender that, you know, you get super cool stuff from there for making mountains and things. So I did this in this environment. All of these have grass and stuff, but it's too heavy in the scene, so I had to hide it all the time. It have a river going through, and I think I set up a couple of cameras as well, of different angles. And if I go here, I think I have a work project. All right, so I think I have these two. Let's see. All right. So, you know, I mean, this add-on that is called grass wall, you can get some super nice grass, like super easy. The only problem with it is that I mean, of course, the grass gets very heavy, and when the scene is so big, you know, gets Blender. I think that Blender struggles a little bit with the memory, I think, at some point. I can definitely handle more polygons in Maya without linking. Looks like in Blender I need to link much more stuff to make it work properly. And but the results are very nice. And this is just one of the renders. I'm trying to figure out how it's going to be the lighting. And the lighting, at the moment I have like 2 environment fogs in there, where one of them is for the main set where all the action is going to happen, and the second one is for having the light pass through, coming from behind, the sunlight. And it seems to be working good. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but it's working. And the environment also is not going to, I mean, it's going to be more complex, but just because the environment is very big and I need to make it work for multiple shots, I figure out that it's easier to have something that works for pretty much everything, and when I get the shots, I'm going to start to, build on top of it. So I don't need to put, it's getting too heavy, so it's very difficult to handle. And I need to share all the textures and all the stuff, so it gets too difficult to handle. And yeah, I think that Blender doesn't handle very good high poly counts. That's something that I'm having problems with very high poly objects. But I mean, I think that at the same time it's going to improve. Blender is the kind of software that, with every release they're improving stuff. So it's very exciting because each time that with each release they have something new, right? Now they put UDIMs and all. I mean, UDIMs is awesome. I mean, when I started this, I wasn't able to use UDIMs, so I had to create one texture node for each tile. And after is one guy from, I don't know if who was it, if Blender Guru or I think that was another guy who created a node that you could plug all these textures and apply them in the creature as a UDIMs. And that seems to, and that was working. But later, I got swamped with work and didn't continue with the project. But this time I have free animators that are helping me a lot. And two of them are like master Blender artists. They know everything about Blender, so I'm trying to learn a lot from them. They help me setting up the scenes for sharing between each other, and they're doing some animation. They did some walking cycles. I think that let's see if I can find the walking cycle because it's pretty cool. Let's see if I can find it. He did a super nice walking cycle. Let me see if I can find it. I think that the guys from Out of Rig Pro share it. Let's see. Yeah, it's here. So this is the first walking cycle test that we did. And this rig, this don't have any shot scope. This is just 100% the rig. And I mean, you can see that the rig is doing a pretty good job. And it's just and it's an auto rig. I did some skinning, but it's pretty much nothing. He has his own tools. He creates his tools, and actually it's pretty good, pretty nice tools for animation. It's some very cool stuff. So we started there, and after we figured out that it was going to take too long to animate everything just for himself, so now he's leading the animation. His name is Stan Hershkovich, and he's super good. So maybe one day he'll come here and show us a little bit. Oh, this is a personal project. This is not It's not. I work for DNEG. I'm a lead creature artist for DNEG, but yeah, I do creatures. So the title is lead build TD, but I do creatures and characters for them. And I work with Andrew and with Misha, that they're in the chat as well. We work all together. We have been working in a show for a very long time. I left the show now, but it's this one, Dune. Very cool project. That's going to look very good. So yeah, this is the environment, and let's see. This is going to improve as well. And the characters, I have another character. So there are two characters. We have this guy. This one is probably this one is going to be the winning guy. And I have another one that is second guy, Kaishu 1. Let's see if we have it here. That's here. Let's put the high res. And this is Kaishu 2. So these guys are going to have a fight. Some kind of fight, as kind of King Kong versus the T-Rex kind of fight. They're going to break stuff. They're going to break parts of their body, and it's going to be a winner. We didn't decide yet who wins, if this guy or the other guy, or this one. I think that probably this one looks more dangerous, right? So for sculpting these guys, I'm going, yeah, Godzilla style, yeah. Actually, I work in the. I know that these guys looks Pacific, kind of Pacific Rim style, and that's because I work in Pacific Rim. I work in the second one with a bunch of lots of talented people. And it's kind of the style that I really like. We helped designing the creatures, and we actually did the creatures for production later, so it was very exciting. And so when I do my stuff, I kind of all the time come back. I mean, while my free sketches, or I mean, this creature, for example, started like from a sphere, and I just started sketching, and I end up having something similar to Pacific Rim style. But you know, it's like that when you work in something for too long, that kind of things, you know, it's kind of a symbiosis. So you try to keep it. You keep it for some reason. So for sculpting this guy, I mean, I do my sculpting mostly by hand. I use alphas time to time, but I don't just use them and stamp them, right? I use them as a guideline of flow, of how I want the stuff to flow in the creature. And I mean, brushes wise, I use pretty much everything. Everything I need, but my main brushes is the Move brush, clay build up. I use a bit of clay tabs as well, them standard, and I have a personal brush that this is the brush I use for make pretty much everything, from wrinkles for Kaishus to destroying hard surface stuff. And I really like it. Because depending of the pressure that I put in it, so let's say I want to make something hard, like these shells, you know, they're super sharp. So with this brush, you know, the nice thing that it has is that it doesn't break in the corners, like for example, the Demon Standard tends to break in the corners when you pass it through. This one doesn't do it, right? You can go through the corners and cut the corners. The other nice things that it has is that depending what you want to get, for example, let's say that you want to get wrinkles, you can always, I just should divide a bit more for some, let's see, okay. So what I was saying is you can want to go very sharp, and you can later, you know, just use like that, and you can get a very sharp crack. No. And that is just one brush, right? And let's say this is just for hard surface. Let's say that is something hard, right? But let's think that I want to make wrinkles. So normally you will think, okay, a brush that you use for hard surface, you don't use it for wrinkles, right? And actually this brush I created for when I was working in Star Trek. We had to destroy the Enterprise. And I was trying to figure out a brush to break the corners, you know, the very sharp corners of hard surface objects. And I tried with the demi standard, I tried with the slash brush, and nothing really worked as I wanted, just to give me a clean cut, right? And I started to play with alphas, and honestly, it's just a very simple alpha. It have a kind of a couple of settings, but no, it's not very complex. And let's say, for example, that you want to do some wrinkles, right? Let's smooth this a little bit. Something I use a lot as well is a smooth strong. Not just a smooth strong. Because you can, you know, smooth like very high density areas. Let's say I want to do wrinkles here. So with this brush, I can go like super soft. You know, and just give me the feeling that I really like. And let's say that instead of just wrinkles, right, that they are not just kind of human wrinkles. Let's say that these ones are very dry wrinkles, right? We can always come here. We get one pass at this wrinkle like that, and after I can just, you know, sharp it up, start to sharp the wrinkles. Starting to get a much sharper feeling and dry. Yeah, it's kind of that, right? I mean, the only thing I do with this one is just I change the size if I want something, you know, a bit smoother. Or if I want something very, very small and sharp, you know, I can just go there and get some small. And also it's very nice because if you start to use it a bit freely, you know, you can start to get imperfections, like very just. You get these imperfections, you know. It helps you quite a bit with the flow of the stuff, without the need of using, you know, alphas and stamps and that kind of things. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not going to say that I don't use them, because that's a lie, right? I definitely use them when I need them, but I will try to figure out most of my stuff by myself. It's mostly it's this thing, you know, with, for example, XYZ textures. I love them. You know, they are super nice. XYZ stuff is super cool. But each time that I use them, I have the feeling that they are stamps. And for example, in creatures, you know, apart if it's a crocodile and that, or a lizard, where you get all these nice scales, and for that 100% I will use them all the time. But let's say that I have an alien, you know, with super big eyes and a rat face, right? I would like to, you know, use something different than just the head of the eye of a human, and stretch it and wrap it around as my wrinkle pattern or my flow. So what I like to do is I will sculpt my my details and my flow in my creature, and later I will use some of the XYZ maps for as different layers, and only for the very high frequency. So let's say that you get normally from XYZ red, blue, and red, green, and blue channels, right? So the red channel will be what I sculpt because it's a very is a low frequency part of the map. So that red channel I will not use it, or maybe I will just put it in there as with a little bit of in a layer with a little bit of intensity, but not much, and I will merge it with my sculpt. And later I will bring the green and blue, and that ones I will pretty much don't touch them unless I really need to blend them together, because the green and blue is just a super high frequency detail, and it kind of doesn't make sense to bring it into ZBrush sometimes. All depends of the shots, depends of how close you are from the object of the creature. Another thing that we use, for example, in ZBrush is something that not too many people use, is HD geometry. That's, I mean, it's super cool. The theory around it is amazing. Sometimes we use it in production, but it have their limitations. Mostly when you know that the topology, the client, for example, when the client you know that the client is going to change the creature all the way until we deliver. That's pretty much what's happened in a lot of shows. HD unfortunately is not the way to go, because if you change topology, you lose pretty much everything. I mean, you can project the stuff again and that kind of stuff, but it's a lot of work to do that. So sometimes keep it the model split, or split the model in different pieces, or that kind of stuff is a little bit more flexible. My opinion in Blender sculpt mode. Honestly, I didn't use it that much. For sculpting, I love ZBrush. I think what's nice about ZBrush is that for every problem that I have a way to cheat ZBrush to make what I want. It's always a way to cheat the software to get what you want with ZBrush. Or maybe it's only because I know it kind of well, so I know how to cheat it to get the result I want. But I mean, I saw some very good stuff from Blender. I don't know if they actually were trying to, because you can't at the moment subdivide your model, right? Go to a high res to low res. I mean, you don't have like subdivisions like in ZBrush, right? I think that's something that they want to add. Maybe when that happens, I will jump into it. I saw the cloth brushes that they have in the new Blender, and that's pretty cool. It's pretty much what ZBrush is doing with the next version, right? That's oh cool. So you have it. You can have different subdivisions, right? Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, Blender for sculpting, I saw good stuff, but for now I'm going to at least in production I will stay with ZBrush, just because I know it. I don't think that is because it's better. It's mostly because I just know the software. So yeah, that's pretty much. So these ones are the creatures. that are going to be fighting. We have the environment as well. That is already, the set is already done. Hey Pablo, how's it going? So we have the environment, we have the creatures rig, and now the guys are making the animation. We have a couple of we have one shot, like some previews, and as you, I mean, I'm going to show a shot. So this is, for example, one of the shots that's going to happen. Actually, this is not a shot, this is the alembic of one of the creatures, but I'm going to show a shot. See if I can take out the environment and open it. I don't know, man. XSI is a legend. I mean, if I need to choose between Maya or Blender for the kind of for the work that you do, I will definitely go for Blender, right? I mean, you're not doing more production stuff. You're, I mean, like VFX and that kind of stuff. So for modeling, I think that Blender would be amazing. It's better than Maya for modeling. Much better. Pablo is an amazing sculptor and concept artist. He actually teach me a lot when I was just starting. I remember talking with Pablo when I was in New Zealand. We are from Argentina, right? And I left Argentina when I was 22, I think, 22 years. And I went to New Zealand, and we have a friend in common that is Juan Giraldes. That maybe next time I bring him. He's an amazing animator. He's working in ILM now. And he introduced us each other, and he actually teach me a lot, Pablo. He's awesome. Check Pablo Art Station. Yeah, my computer is kind of a monster. I have a, I mean, it's not a monster. It's I have a Threadripper 1950 X. I have a 2080 Ti, and I have 64 GB of RAM, more or less. It's pretty good. I can handle a lot of stuff at the same time, but I mean, time to time I forget that it's still a computer. And time to time, you know, if I open Substance Painter now, it will just turn everything off, and it will just quit all the softwares and turn everything off. Sometimes I totally forget that actually I'm overcharging the computer, because all the time it's working, right? I can open free blenders at the same time, ZBrush, Maya, and Photoshop, and works good until I open Substance Painter. When I open Substance Painter and put I paint one of the caches in Substance Painter. I will show you later. And if I do that, it will turn everything off. The stream, the Blender, ZBrush, everything will explode. Let me see if I can find I have a shot that we just started. I mean, it's just a pose, but I wanted to have one shot to test the workflow with them, because, you know, it's an auto. I have an auto rig, right? So the auto rig it have his problems. The deformation is good, but it's not amazing. And I mean, actually, it's pretty amazing for being an auto rig. But all of that, I want you to fix it, right? So let's see if I have the shot here. If I go to new project, Cashified shots. Yeah, we open the shot. Thanks, man. yeah, I think that this software will be. I really think that will be one of the best softwares in a couple of years. I mean, they have so many good things in here, and so many people working super hard making add-ons and stuff that, I mean, stuff that you don't see in other softwares, right? I think that all these things that is, you know, is kind of being a free software, having a community behind it, and I think that the guys, the creators of Blender, are making a great job. Actually, a couple of months ago, I was talking with one of the guys, and they did a talk in DNEG about it. I think that right now for production, for use it 100% in production, it will not be possible. But yes, for example, if you want to model in Blender and after throw it into the pipeline that you have in the studio, then it will be awesome. But in a couple of years, I think that it could be like a full production software. I mean, I think that they are not that far. So we have this first shot, you know, this first pose, and you see that the rig is behaving pretty good, but have some problems, right? So some deformations are not great. Oops, I just break it. Some deformations are not great. So I'm breaking the neck. I'm breaking a bit of the wrist. I'm losing volumes and adding volumes where I don't want them, right? So how I will fix that, you know? So the plan. This is pretty much what I do in VFX as well. The only thing is that I'm cheating a little bit because I want to finish this at some point, and if I go like full production pipeline, it will take, you know, much more longer, and I will need more people to help me. So, and also my intention is to use Blender 100%, or at least, you know, as much as possible. The render, the animation, the look depth, everything will happen in Blender. So for fix that, I use a software that is called Mesh 3D. And Mesh 3D is a software that was developed by Luis Elias. He's a monster. This guy make scripting is a monster. He was my he's a build supervisor in DNEG London, and we worked together for a long time. We are very good friends. And he developed this software, and this is my go-to for make these things. So for example, let's say that I have this animation, right? This animation is it's going to be deformed. It's going to do a lot of things. Animators have totally freedom to do whatever they want. Doesn't matter if it breaks. So what I will do is I will take that animation, export an alembic, and I will bring that alembic into Mesh. So this is an alembic. I always need like a rest pose. The rest pose is the T-pose, right? Where all the volumes are correct and everything is working good. I don't know why my wacom stopped working. The wacom is working weird. Ah, now it's working. And this is going to be my animation. At the moment I have only one pose because I have only one pose. But here you can put, you know, as many frames as you want of the animation. And what I will do is here you have like, you can create sculpting layers, delta mesh, you have relax, you have jiggle, you have like a cloth solver, you can cache the layers, you have masking, you have a lot of things. You can create wrinkles in here, you can do a lot of things, and all this is a kind of sculpting with animation, right? It's not ZBrush. I mean, you will not be sculpting like in ZBrush. You are sculpting in tangent space, and it's for fixed sculpt animation in motion. So let's say that I have this, right? And you can see that the neck is broken. So I'm going to create a delta mesh layer. I'm going to be mask. I'm going to paint a mask, the areas I want to fix. You can have topological mode. this is stretching a little bit too much, right? Smooth a little bit the mask. Actually, let's go to all the areas that are broken. Something like that, and let's extend it a little bit from here. You don't need to be super careful, right? You can just paint the stuff. I'm going to smooth the mask. Try to fix this area a little bit more. Okay, cool. So we have this mask, right? And now here's the magic. I'm going to put the iterations I want. Let's say I put 200. Boom. So now it's fixed. So we went from, oh wow, I put too many, wait. Something like that. Here we go. We went from there to there in China. It's just a couple of clicks. So you can see that some areas are not working. Let's say that these areas, right? Only the delta mesh always is going to break the points. But what you do for fix that is just you force the raise pose, and here you can add something like 50, and that's back. And here we go. So let's say that we have like, I don't know, let's say that we have spikes, or we can even, you know, actually for show this better, I'm going to do this. Because I have only one pose, so sometimes it could be difficult to understand what's going on. So I'm going to take this here and this here. And I'm going to take this brush and pull it. So this is what's happening. I'm sculpting in frames. So another thing that you can do in this software is I use it for blend shapes. I mean, I do a lot of my blend shape work in this. A lot of my blend shape work is done in this. I like to, because sometimes we have like very short time to do stuff, and you know, when you have that short time frames, what we do is try to, let's say that I have a character, and this character have all the set of blend shapes, you know, lip color puller, lip stretcher, you have all the blend shapes. So you could technically, you could take all of the blend shapes and use them in a monkey, right? Because a monkey have pretty similar facial muscles, and the shapes will trigger in a similar way. So you can use them as a first pass. So what we do is normally we take the character, we take the monkey, and we wrap the face of the monkey into the character. We wrap the face of the character into the monkey. We replace the blend shapes. We get all the blend shapes with the face of the monkey. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be close. It's just a first pass, and after we wrap one into each other, and we pass that blend shapes to a different topology. We make an animation sequence. We bring it into this tool, and we do the full cleanup with delta mesh, with clone brushes, with the sculpt mode. You know, we start to clean hundreds and hundreds of blend shapes in a couple of days. That's thanks to this software, really. Is very powerful. It's very, very powerful. So yeah, that's the way that I will clean up all the animation. And I will actually, because I didn't make blend shapes for this guy, these guys, I will create, like, for example, a sculpt layer in this frame, and I will start to sculpt expressions, right? Also have stuff like, for example, let's say that so let's say that I want this guy got punch, right? So let's do this. Let's do that this guy got a punch in the bottom jaw, right? And this is happening, right? Oops, that's broken a little bit, but that's fine. So he got a punch, right? And you can see all the detail just got deforming too much. So you can take the clone brush, and the clone brush will always take a look into the first frame, unless you tell something different. You say I'm morphing another frame, it will take another frame, but as default it will take the first frame. Then you can come here and fix it and bring the detail back. It's no morphing, this is doing it in tangent space. So it's not bringing back to the other pose, it's fixing the points in the pose. So this will be the first pass of clean animation. The second pass will be to smooth this geometry in Maya or Blender. And when you have an alembic, when you have a cache, you can smooth that cache, and that topology will get updated into the cache. So you can export that cache again, bring it back into the shot sculpt, and start to make details. And there you can start to use like a cloth, for example, where you have a, I don't know, because this guy's a bit low poly, so probably will not work that good, but let's give it a try. So if I take this guy and I make a mask, let's say in this area of the chest, right? And you can put here like 200. You're going to start to get wrinkles. Now it's not working good because the geometry is very low. Let's see, for something like 300, 100. Yeah, geometry is a little bit low. And also you can even let's say that you want to have some custom wrinkles. You can even come here, do this, and you have a wrinkle brush. That again, it's not going to work perfect here because I have it's very low poly. But I mean, in the next set of streams, you are going to notice much more, because I will use this workflow quite a lot, and you can actually use it for create a lot of wrinkles. Let's see if I can. All right. So if I see here, if I open this, all right. Let's see. Okay, so I have it here. See what Misha is doing. Sorry. Misha was asking something. Oh, Misha, I didn't saw your question. How do you add the little silhouette view at the top left in ZBrush? Oh, what, this? Oh, that's new in ZBrush. That's the new ZBrush have that. And you, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? And you can even export them. You can export these templates, because normally what I do when I present a concept, I go to the different poses, and after I just paint everything in a flat material. I put the two things, like the one with shading and the one with not, so they can see the negative space and all that kind of things. Something I like to use as well, I use in the background. Normally I put the golden when I'm stuck with a sculpt, I would put the golden rectangle in the back, trying to get a better shape and stuff. That helps me quite a bit sometimes. So this is a trick that Misha loves. Misha really likes this trick. So let's say that we have, in production normally we work with different lots. We have at least 3 lots. So we have the lot 100, that will be this guy. That this guy is very low poly. This is the lot that probably we're going to use as a proxy, or our animation is going to use it for get their animation. Yeah, probably. But as the base, right? This will be our load 100. This will be our load 200. This load probably is going to be the load that animation is going to use for display the facial expressions that we do. And this guy will be our render mesh. This is the mesh that we render, the mesh that we shot sculpt, the final mesh. Everything should work perfect in this mesh. And it's different people have different workflows for this. Some people will have a different topology for each one of them. Or some people will start from the load 300, from something very heavy. What I like to do, I start with this guy. This guy, this is not production mesh or nothing like that, but it's a fast mesh that I did manually. It's not zero measure. But I didn't spend weeks in this. I spent a day or 2 days, something like that. No, I think that a day. So I will start with something like this, and later I will get my lots by subdividing these lots. So 200, 300. The main reason to do that is 2 important reasons. The first one is I handle all my UVs in this lot. This lot will have I will handle the UVs. It will be my point order, my proper point order. Each one of these points have a number. That's very important for rigging. And each one of these lots also, in my case, I always want to share the same point order. So, for example, this is going to be my subdivision level 1 in ZBrush, right? In my case, this will be my subdivision level 1 in ZBrush. And if I want to update something, right? Let's say that I do this. You see, I took it to ZBrush, I did changes, and now the shoulders are bigger, right? The shoulders are much bigger. What I do? Well, I take this guy, take into this guy. Sorry, I take this guy. This will be replaced by this one. This is my new render mesh, but these guys don't have the same shape, right? Now it changed. But what I can do, if my point order matches, is go to the form, plane shape, topology, and check it, and you apply it. And people will say, oh no, this is not going to work because topology is different. Well, but the point order is the same in the points, even like this. So point order is matching. That means that you can update different topologies. As far as the blend shape will only take the points that will deform the points that are matching. So the extra points will not take them in consideration. If they are not there, it doesn't deform, right? So that's pretty much what's happening here. And that's how I update all my lots when I'm working. I just work in one, and this one will get updated from this one, from a render mesh. For this project, I didn't use this system because it was too much to handle. Each lot takes time to fix, to maintain each lot. So in this case, it's just one lot, this one, and this one will get subdivided in Blender, pretty much. So yeah, so my plan is to, because I'm not a Blender expert and you guys are, I was thinking that you guys can help me look deving the creatures. But this first stream is more like an introduction of what I'm trying to do. Also, you guys can take a look into, I have it here. I have it here. Let's see. And I broke it. Ah, here we go. This is the working cycle. It's working. Nice, it's working. Oh, I know what's going on. This guy has lots of subdivisions. Yes. Yeah, the machine is not going to handle that. So we have this working cycle, and with the working cycle, I want to start to look at the creature. So maybe for the next stream, you guys can help me to get the creature into a very good level. And also, I think that they're going to start to mix stuff. So I have this project, but at the same time, I'm working on another one, and I have this guy. This guy is more of a proof of concept that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this guy. I will rig it as well with Auto Rig Pro, and I will try to apply some motion capture into it and see if I can do some kind of small animated concept art as a proof of concept for a pitch, and see if that works. Also, we'll show some marvelous designer stuff, a very fast workflow to make get the clothing plus a good retopology, because at the moment, you can see that the topology in this guy is alright. It's not just a zero measure, right? So it's ways to make it. It's a way to make it properly. It takes a couple of more minutes, but works pretty good. Honestly, works super good, and you can get nice and even topology. But we can do that with the marvelous. So probably in one of the streams I will switch between these, because I need to finish this guy as well. It's half there, and I will paint it in Substance. Actually, I have here we go. So for this guy, I need to work in the eyes, I need to work in the plates, I'm trying to. I was learning how to mask subsurface between the plates because the plates are getting subsurface, and I don't want the plates to get subsurface. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to eliminate the subsurface from the plates, because I think that at the moment it's getting affected. Now you will see now that the model looks a little low res. It's just because I took out the subdivisions from the viewport. But as soon as I add the subdivisions in the viewport, this starts to look better and better. But I wouldn't expect that, right? Normally I will expect that to happen in render time, but I don't know. I couldn't make it look nicer in the Sweden more in render time for some reason. I'm not sure about it. It doesn't work like Cycles doesn't work like Arnold, because in Arnold I can say, okay, just make all of this work in render time, and it just does it. In Blender it's not happening. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. That is very possible. That's how pretty much I learn. I break stuff and try to fix it later. So yeah, what I'm trying to do, I think at the moment is still getting affected. So if I put something like 5 here, yeah, still getting affected. So I need to figure out a way to get the subsurface not being applied into the plates. I have a mask of what is plate and what is skin, but that didn't work. So if you guys know the best way to get that happening, please let me know. That will be very cool. Okay, last thing, and I think that for today we're fine. You guys always can tell me if you want what you want to see in the next time. I think that next time will be nice to start to work in the look of this creature, or I can finish sculpting this guy and prepare it for texturing. That will happen in Substance, because now Substance has UDIMs, and that's awesome. And that's the other thing. That's the reason why I started the stream channel. It's just because I want to, in production, lots of time we are stuck doing the same thing. Like I spend lots of time making concept art and creature models, creature plane shapes, creature ROMs, fixing shots, and that kind of things. But I don't spend a lot of time making textures or making look depth, and that's something that I used to do quite a bit, and I started to lose practice. For example, Substance. I have Substance since it went out. I think that I bought Substance when it was $50. So, and later I didn't use it for years. Or I use it in and out, but not a lot. And now I open Substance. I started to do this creature in Substance, and I was totally lost inside the software. I totally forgot a lot of stuff. So that's another reason why I'm doing this stream. Let's see if I can open Substance without making crash everything. So I'm going to close some stuff. See, this guy, we're going to leave it. What's happened? Oh, I'm in edit mode. And let's go away, and let's try to open Substance and take out this. We don't need this anymore. And let's open Substance Painter. So when I started this one, we didn't have UDIMs. When I started this creature in Substance. And honestly, Substance, I don't have a proper workflow for it yet. I just mix multiple things together and I paint stuff and use different materials. I kind of have a workflow. I like to first make all the high frequency stuff, and after I only play with the color on top. And sometimes I use some smart materials and use them as color and height. But this one was, for example, this was my first attempt after I think 1.5 years without using Substance, and I was pretty happy with it. I mean, Substance evolved quite a lot. You know, a year ago, I mean, actually months ago, I wouldn't use Substance for making creatures. I will use only Mari. But it's so fast. It's so fast, Substance. That, you know, it's just now that they will get UDIMs, they got the UDIMs here, you know. The only reason for what I will use Substance is maybe for paint XYZ maps. Because Mari, you know, can handle 32 bits displacements and you can pay them, and I mean, it's have a lot of production stuff in there, but I found it a bit slow for me. I hate waiting for the buffer. It's something that I can't handle. That buffer thing kills me each time that I use it. But Substance, I don't know, man. It's pretty neat. It's super intuitive. I mean, if I compare how intuitive is Mari and how intuitive is Substance much more intuitive. I honestly, I didn't touch it for 1.5 years, and I was able to start doing stuff. Even if it's not perfect, I know that I did a lot of mistakes, and I went kind of messy in some stuff. But you know, it took me there and give me what I needed. But I know that and this, you know, it's all kind of a learning experience. Next time, you know, I will handle things totally different. But if you don't do it, you don't know how you handle them, right? So it's the same thing with this project. This project was born for learning new stuff. And the same with the stream. The stream is learned so we can share knowledge. And also, you know, we work in super, I mean, high blockbusters and that kind of things, but you know, we struggle the same than anyone to learn new things. I was trying to learn Houdini as well, and man, that's a big learning curve, very big learning curve. But you know, maybe I will learn it with the stream. You know, maybe we get someone watching that is a pro Houdini guy, and we can learn from there. Maybe I can use something for the short in there, but I mean, probably in the short will be more like Blender stuff. So yeah, and for create this guy, I mean, this was very simple. I just did a mask, one for the scales, whatever I wanted to be plates and scales and hard, and one for the skin. Oh. So it would be this and this. Later I just, because in Substance at that point you couldn't use UDIMs. You know, each UDIM is a different UV set. That is okay for my project, but imagine that if we're working in for a film, we don't have like We don't have 5 UV sets, UDIMs. We have hundreds. I mean, I remember that I think that Cassius have around 400 UDIMs. So you couldn't bring them here. It would be impossible to paint it in this system. But now that I have UDIMs, the potential is bigger for start using it for creatures. And at the same time, films and video games, they're getting closer to each other in technology. Video games is getting some stuff that looks amazing. Some video games are getting some stunning visuals, and Unreal is going to be the next thing, right? And the next update of Unreal is going to be huge. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be exciting. Okay, so let's go to this guy. I don't like to see it so low res. Oh, high substance. Okay, it's not crashing everything. All right. So what we can do for make this look better? Maybe we can take a look into the roughness. See the roughness that these guys have. So I have here, the roughness is here, this map. Oh, come on. Come on, soften. Oh, no. Alright. So if I trigger this guy, I bring this guy here. See how it looks. Alright, so that's my problem. Let's create a color ramp. I think I will need to have some kind of mask to work in them individually. I mean, the gums I don't care because they will have a different material later. I will create another BSDF for the gums only and for the teeth. But I think I need to work in these two independently of each other. What do you think? Bit too shiny? It's a little bit too shiny, right? It's looking a bit plasticky. Kind of like some areas. Looking a bit too shiny. I mean, it looks wet. Maybe something like that. Do this. And I bring this into here. And this here. Oh, by the way, I love this add-on. The Node Wrangler add-on is amazing. It lets you visualize your maps. Take a couple of clicks. So if I have that, right? And let's say that I'm going to duplicate this. And I bring this guy into here. And I create add a RGB, a mix RGB. See if that works. 2, color 1. Let's go there. So if I do that, it's affecting everything. I don't want to affect everything. Oh, right, because I don't have that's not going to work. I need to be able to clamp it. I have the mask here. That will not help, right? Okay. Oh, it's doing it. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's working. Yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, it's not working in the. It's working there, and after this one, because it's affecting the other area as well, right? So it's not working 100%. Um, let's try this. What happens if I do a multiply?
Can I ask you something? Yeah. Why do nice people choose the wrong people to date?
Oh, that's not working. No, it needs to be a mix.
Can we make them know that they deserve more? We can try.
Okay, but I mean, even if this is not 100%, I think that this will help me. So even if I, how this looks alone. Yeah, I feel that this will help me. I mean, if someone knows how to do it better, please let me know. Like this into the roughness. Surface. See how it goes. All right. Okay, let's see if I have control of the two things. Huh. I kind of have. Actually, this is not too bad. I think that this could work. I mean, the spec is a bit too tiny. I don't like that. I don't know if it's coming from. I think that needs a bit of breakup, right? The specular needs a bit of more breakup. but it's starting to look alright. We're getting some nice subsurface in the nose. I would like to kill the subsurface from the plates. I still need to figure out how to do that. I mean, I need to be able to tell this node that the plates are 0 and the rest of the body 0.2. I mean, I try what I can do because I have a mask for it. But if I create okay, if I take this one, I take this one, if I take this guy here, let's see what happens if I apply this guy. This is my mask. Yeah, that's the mask into the subsurface. Okay, I get that I don't like, but I think that I'm getting 0 subsurface in the plates. But I'm getting too much in the body. So if I duplicate the color ramp, apply it there, okay. Okay, wait, I need to visualize this. Visualize this into here. Alright, so this means that 0 is 0, black is 0. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. So if I do this and I bring it back into the subsurface and I bring this into the surface, let's see if that works. Thank you, De Maria Chiloco. So if I do that, I should be get 0 subsurface. Okay. Alright, looks like this works. And this is a lot of subsurface. Alright. This could work. Yeah, I still think that needs to be a better way to handle this, but I'm not going to fight it that much because this is pretty good. And Let's see if I still think that I need to break up in the specular. I want more break up in the spec. And it's way too defined. Maybe I can mix it with my displacement or with the bump a little bit better. I mean the roughness, sorry. I mean it's kind of doing the job, but it's not doing the job with the I mean even a noise could work, right? I will think about that. See if what we have here now. I have a bit of a mess now. Alright. It's pretty cool. Okay, the next step will be start to work in the gums and the teeth as well. And the eyes. I need to do the eyes as well. I think this is going to work, man. I still need to test it in the actual environment and see how it works with the lighting that I have there, but you know the nose is a bit too shiny, man. I mean it's nice because it looks wet. Oh, they did have an UV sim there. I will need to fix that. It's not because it looks wet. It's just I think that the specular is too even and makes it look a bit weird. Right? But if I mix the roughness with a noise, maybe I will get a better result. All right. All right, guys. I think that is that for today. Next time we will continue working in this guy and maybe a little bit of the other asset, the zombie kind of zombie guy. Probably I will be sculpting the face and preparing all DVs for. I will not make DVs in the stream because it's too boring. But maybe the baking I can do in the stream. So if you guys want to learn how to bake stuff. Okay, cool. So yeah, thank you. And I probably will be streaming on Monday. No, Tuesday. On Thursday. On Thursday I will stream again. Same time. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. See ya. Oh, de nada. See you on Thursday, maybe. Yeah? See ya, guys. Have a good